I ever glad you're here, Mrs. Wheeler?
Vivian.
Sorry. Oh, am I ever glad you're here, Mrs. Wheeler?
Vivian.
Sorry, but I get nervous. I cannot think.
What do you have to be nervous about? Something happened while I was out?
Sort of.
What does sort of mean?
Mr. Wheeler came in and wondered where you were.
And what did you say?
Well, if this were Bay City, I could have rattled off 6 or 7 names without even thinking.
But this isn't Bay City.
Right. And as this is Houston and I don't know too many people here, it's hard for me to remember the names right off the top of my
What
head.
did you tell Mr. Wheeler?
I told him you were at Rena Decker's.
Oh,
It's the
Vivian.
first name that popped into my head.
It's an hour and a half's drive to the Deckers.
That far.
Yes, that far. Couldn't you have come up with something better?
I guess I kind of got out of practice since you moved down here to Houston.
Now I'll have to think of some way to explain this to Rena.
Well, you might say it's a surprise party. I told Mr. Wheeler it might be a surprise, and then he thought it might have something to do with his birthday coming up. How did your meeting go with whomever you went to meet with?
Oh, Vivian. You have no idea.
Where do you think we'd be right now if you hadn't wandered into my office today?
Someplace a lot colder and a lot lonelier.
I would probably still be in the clinic.
You know, life without love just ain't worth living.
No, it's not. And you shouldn't settle for less than the love that you dream about.
Is that what this is?
I wish it was as simple as 2 people making love under the stars.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but there's always complications.
Yeah, I know it.
Who would have thought that from that day that we met in Virginia, we would be sitting here on this beach in Galveston together?
Yeah.
You were so sarcastic and so self-centered and so handsome.
And you were very bossy, very cold, very self-righteous, and probably the prettiest girl that I'd ever seen.
It's funny, huh? Can't imagine all those strange emotions we had. It's turned into love.
Well, maybe we were just fighting that all along. Of course, it's the way it always is. I mean, everybody is afraid of love. Afraid of what it costs.
What does it cost?
It costs a part of yourself, you know?
Yeah, well, there's nothing like it in the whole world.
That's right. We got it. We got it right here, right now. That's what we got here.
You know you have most likely missed your first set at the chicken coop.
Who cares?
Aren't you afraid of getting fired?
Are you kidding? You kidding? They wouldn't fire us. We're the hottest act they ever had in there. Besides, I'm a rich Texan now. You know, I won that poker game. $3,000 in my pocket. I can take me and my girl anywhere I want in the world.
That's right. That's right. We don't even have to go back. We could just keep on going.
Mm-hmm. Except you gotta get yourself back to the clinic.
And you have a job with Elena.
Just about ready, Sugar Bumps.
Yeah, you said that a half hour ago.
Well, I don't see you getting ready. You're just standing there.
Well, I'm waiting for you to tell me what I should wear.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
I don't see why you don't like this dress. I don't think it's depressing.
I'll tell you what, look at that box that Bernie brought over. I think there's lots of pretty stuff in there.
Well, I'm not going to change right here in front of you.
Bathroom's right over there.
You are real cute, Billy Joe.
Hey, is the Yellow Rose of Texas ready to get a picture took?
Real funny, Billy Joe.
What's the matter with you, Elena? What are you so steamed about? I didn't know about that.
Texas, starring Beverly McKinsey.
She sure is a pretty little thing. You found yourself a job yet?
I'm trying to get her hired down at the beauty parlor, but it'll be a while before they can take her on.
Well, maybe I could find something for you. Short hours, good pay.
Bernie?
Hey, Nita.
Yeah.
Evening.
Have you seen Billy Joe? We had this fight this morning, and I just need to talk to him.
Did you try over the top of the world, Club?
Yeah.
Billy Joe was in here. He said he was going over to the trailer with what's-her-name.
What do you mean, what's her name? Bernie, where's Billy Joe? Where is my husband?
Well,
What's wrong?
Everything, Vivian. Everything.
Can you be a little more specific?
Do you know what it's like to have a son?
No, ma'am.
Well, you should thank your lucky stars you're not a mother.
You're talking about Dennis.
Yes, Dennis.
Was Dennis who you went to visit?
Yeah, but I wouldn't call it a visit. It was more like a battleground.
Oh, Mrs. Wheeler, please don't go getting yourself upset. You've been on the outs with Dennis before.
This time it's different.
You two always work things out. You always have in the past.
No, before when we disagreed about something, I could always see that he still loved me.
Dennis does still love you.
He's changed, Vivian.
I don't see that.
Oh, you didn't see him or hear him. He was so unloving, so cold to me.
What did he say? Mrs. Wheeler?
He's dismissing me from his life.
Oh, no.
He said that he never wanted to see me again, that he wanted me out of his life.
Did he say that?
I don't remember the exact words. I was so stunned, but that's what he meant.
Maybe you're exaggerating.
Whose side are you on?
I am not taking anyone's side.
It certainly doesn't sound that
now,
way.
Come on, Mrs. Wheeler. Honestly, you know I'm not. It's just that sometimes in the past you've had a tendency to
Over-dramatize?
Yes?
Well, not this time. If you had seen him turn his back to me as if I no longer existed.
What were you arguing about?
Elliot.
Mr. Carrington?
Dennis insists on seeing Elliot in the hospital.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong? How can can you even ask that? After Elliot tried to murder my husband? After he tried to destroy all of my happiness and even destroy me?
I know that, Mrs. Wheeler, but Mr. Carrington is Dennis's father. Dennis is really fond of him.
But that's the point. Never mind.
I remember this movie once with William Holden. He was a prisoner of war. All that torture and that punishment and that pressure. Just about everybody went crazy, except for William Holden. He was brave to the end.
I know who's behind all of this.
You do?
Even though Dennis denies it, I know.
Who?
Paige. And I'm going to put a stop to it.
Little visit from your mother really put you in a tailspin, didn't it?
Mom's the grand master of putting people's nerves on edge.
Still don't want to tell me what it was all about?
No, it's always the same old thing with Mom.
Darling, I don't know Iris well enough to know what that is.
Count yourself lucky, Paige. Thank you.
Dennis, I want to know what's bothering you. Maybe I can help. Well?
All right, it was about Dad. He's sitting all alone in that hospital room with a guard outside the door, and Mom's still out to get him. Never kick a man when he's down. But Mom thinks that's the time to put your boots on.
Dennis, have you ever thought that you might be a little unfair to your mother?
Unfair?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never thought I'd hear you defending your new mother-in-law after all she did to keep us from getting married.
Oh, that's not it. Besides, most mothers don't think any woman is good enough for their son.
Not with my mother. That's not the case this time.
How? She's just concerned about your happiness.
Look, it may look that way on the surface, but what Mom really wants is to get people to dance to her tune. Can't you see that?
She certainly doesn't call the shots for Alex.
Not yet, she doesn't. You know something, Paige? When we first moved to Houston, even I thought Mom had changed, but now I can see it's different.
Well, maybe you should be a little easier on her, honey, after all she's been through.
No, I can't do that, Paige. Can't do it. If you let up with Mom, she'll plow right through you. And right now, she's doing everything she can to turn me against my father. And no one is going to do that. No one!
I tell you, Nita, I don't know where your old man is. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Besides, I got better things to do than to keep up with Billy Joe.
Well, I got to keep up with him 7 days out of every week.
I know. Look, if I could tell you anything more, I would. You know me. I'm always willing to give a helping hand if I can.
Well, if that's so, then you won't mind taking me to the trailer so I can look.
Oh, now have some sense, honey. We can't go turning Houston upside down looking for him. He's out making a buck is all so he can take care of you and Billy Joe Jr. there.
If that is all he's doing at the trailer, then he won't mind if we go and we look.
No, ma'am.
It won't be any big problem, will it?
No, it won't. Now, hold on. I don't even know if he's in there, and neither does Bobby Sue. Ain't that right?
Maybe I didn't hear him right.
Look, if you don't take me to the trailer right now, I will get Maggie and she will go with me.
Okay. No sense waking up half of Houston. I got expensive equipment out there. I can't have people go messing with it. Wait here a sec. I gotta go tell the boss I'm gonna be cutting out for a little while.
Who is it?
It is me. I gotta leave for a little bit, maybe about an hour or so.
What for?
Well, you remember I was telling you how Billy Joe Wright was gonna give that Elena Decker a talent test tonight?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, I let him use some equipment. Oh, just a camera and some lights and stuff so that he can do the test real good.
Bernie, you know that is very expensive equipment.
Yeah, I know.
So you know how to use the stuff?
Well, that's what I figured, see, that I'd just go down there and check and make sure.
Bernie, one of these days you're going to stick your neck out and you're going to get it chopped off. All right, I owed Wright one for getting me that invitation to the reception, but now we're square.
Yeah, that's just the way I figured it.
Bernie, you see that stuff comes back here in the shape it left in.
Yes, sir, boss.
Get one of the girls to mind the bar.
Hey, no problem. Everything's under control. Okay, we're all set. But I'll tell you, Nina, I just don't understand what you're so all-fired worried about. If a man's got a scratch to make a living, you can't go dog-tailing him all the time. You're gonna cramp his style.
Look, I know Billy Joe's style. That's why I'm worried about him.
Okay, let's get it over with.
Why do you think Paige is behind Dennis wanting to see his father?
It's quite evident from what I know of her. I can spot Paige's type a mile away.
What type do you mean, Mrs. Wheeler?
Cunning, conniving, vixen.
Are you sure?
I'm quite sure. And I won't allow her to destroy Dennis's life.
Maybe you shouldn't interfere.
I'm not interfering.
Well, it sure sounds that way.
Dennis is a responsible adult, and I want him to live his own life. But he's also my son. And when a mother sees her child in danger, she has to protect him. And in this case, the danger is Paige.
Sometimes people have to learn the hard way.
But he has to have a fighting chance. Dennis is too trusting. He's helpless when he's involved with people like Paige.
Mrs. Wheeler, Dennis isn't stupid.
No one said he was.
Well, maybe you should just let Dennis find these things out for himself sooner or later.
But that may be too late. He might not discover her iniquity until she's ruined his life, made him terribly unhappy. Don't you see?
All I remember is that all the times in the past that you've interfered with Dennis's affairs, it's ended up pretty badly.
Vivian, I'm still his mother. And I can't just sit back while he makes a shambles of his life.
Well, what can you do?
I'll think of something.
Oh, Mrs. Wheeler, every time I hear you say something like that, it just gives me goosebumps all over.
Paige is the one who should be getting goosebumps.
What about Mr. Carrington?
What about him?
Do you think he's going to approve of your stepping into Dennis's affairs?
Who cares? But now listen, Vivian. Mr. Wheeler mustn't know anything about this.
Oh, I'm not so sure you should start keeping secrets from Mr. Wheeler.
It's not a question of keeping
secrets.
Sounds
like it to me.
No, it is a matter of not bothering Alex with this problem. The poor darling has enough to worry about.
I still think you should tell Mr. Wheeler.
Tell Mr. Wheeler what?
Now, where'd you find this stuff?
In the costume box you gave me. What did you think?
Now, hold on there, sugar. I didn't ask for none of this stuff.
Oh?
I asked Bernie to get something pretty for you to wear.
Don't go pulling that innocent stuff with me, Billy Joe.
Honest, sugar.
I should have known I couldn't trust you.
It wasn't me.
I knew that something was up.
Come on, I mean this. I didn't have nothing to do with this stuff.
Oh, tell me another one,
It's
Billy
Bernie,
Joe.
man. He figured out the wrong. He's got a one-track mind.
Just like yours.
No, man. He figures everybody's like him.
Well, I think he figured right, Billy Joe.
Now, just hold on there, Lena, will you? Now, I've always been straight with you about being your personal manager. Now, ain't I? Huh?
I should have known that something like this was going to happen today. First, Jeb goes off with Courtney.
Come on, don't blow this chance, Elena. I mean, your career's just beginning.
What career are you talking about, Billy Joe?
I mean, for me to be a personal manager.
Oh, I didn't know they had personal managers in the porno business.
No, it ain't that at all. I want to help you be a big singing star. You gotta believe me on that.
Well, why don't you tell me how much Bernie offered to pay you to put me in porno movies?
Nothing at all. He didn't. Where do you hear all this stuff about porno movies anyway?
Billy Joe, I'm no fool. I hear those girls talking about what business Bernie is in at the chicken coop. Now, you know as well as I do that that place is just a front for talent. Well, you can tell your Mr. Porno King that I am not interested.
You listen to me, Elena. Are you listening?
Yes.
If you don't believe it or not, I mean, I still got to tell you this. I trust you as a lady. And all I want is just help your singing career, darling.
Billy Joe.
Really?
You are just a smooth-talking devil. Just like all the rest of the guys that I have the bad luck to get mixed up with. Why is everybody always taking advantage of me?
No, Elena, no. Look, I know this is truly a misunderstanding, darling. It really is. But I know we can work things out. I know we can. And I want to see to it you're going to be the biggest star in them country western charts. Really, Elena.
Oh, I should have known that you'd be here with Billy Joe.
I hate waking her up so late.
Then don't.
Jeb,
Come on, you come down to the coop with me, catch the second set.
I'd only have to wake her up later.
I think I could find a place for you to sleep.
You know I'm tempted. But I can't. Maggie would really worry if I didn't show up.
I think she's done gone to bed.
And besides that, I would love some time to reflect upon this beautiful day.
Well, there's going to be more than one day for you to reflect upon.
I don't even want it to end. That's why I'd like to go upstairs and think about it.
Well, don't think about it too much. I don't want you to get scared again.
I won't. Not again. I love you, Jeb.
Boy, do I love you.
It seems so easy to say now. I love you.
Don't you ever stop saying it.
Don't you ever let me go, okay?
Never, 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 never.
Mm.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Caught.
yeah. Oh, no. Maggie. Maggie, I'm sorry for waking you up so...
don't give it a thought, honey. This is your home at any hour.
All right, I'm sorry.
Hiya, Maggie.
Jeb, how are you?
Fine, fine. Just fine.
Did, you get everything straightened out with Elena?
With Elena.
Oh, she's pretty upset with you.
Well, she should be. I mean, you missed your first set tonight.
Is that all she was upset about?
Well, all I know is she was in here a little earlier and, fit to be tied. She said she's going to fire you as her manager.
She what?
Well, she said she was going to go it alone from now on.
Yeah, well, that's what she thinks. Look, I'll see you later.
Jeb, wait. I don't want you to catch a cold.
Go on, Maggie.
Oh, Lord, Nita. What are you doing here?
Well, I was about to ask you the same question. But I guess I don't have to.
Nita, this ain't what it looks like.
Oh, no?
And I don't want you to jump to any conclusions either.
Oh, I think it's pretty clear to everybody here.
Nita, honest, I didn't know anything
I don't want to hear any lies from you, little girl. I'm sure Billy Joe will think of plenty.
Billy Joe, I don't want her thinking...
Elena, go outside. I gotta talk to Nita alone.
That suits me fine.
you hadn't had enough time to think of a good lie?
I don't need to lie. I'm telling the truth.
Well, I haven't heard it yet.
Are you going to listen to me or jump to more conclusions?
All right, then start talking.
I'm going to be Elena's personal manager.
You mean to tell me that what you were doing was working?
I was working. I was trying to set up a publicity shot for the newspapers and to show a record producer.
Well, that's a funny way to take pictures on the bed with your arms around each other.
No, I wasn't doing that. We was just talking.
Sure.
Nita, you promised you'd listen to me.
I have heard enough.
I wasn't doing anything wrong!
Do you think these costumes will look nice in the entertainment section of the newspaper, huh?
That was none of my doing. Bernie got that.
You and Bernie apart?
No, I just asked him to help me with the costumes, and he misunderstood. He got me the wrong kind. This is all it's just all a terrible misunderstanding. All I'm trying to do is make you proud of me. That's all.
Oh, no, Billy, don't.
I'm just trying to explain to you what I'm doing here.
Don't give me any more of your excuses. They're always the same one. It's your love for me and for the baby. And you think then everything's just going to be fine.
You already got your mind made up, so you ain't going to believe me no matter what I tell you, are you?
Believe you? Billy Joe, I'm trying to believe you. Even when my mind tells me, no, don't, I say to myself, I have to. I have to believe him. I have to give him another chance.
All I'm asking is for you to listen to the truth.
Don't ask me for anything, because I can't give it to you, not anymore.
Okay, we got to talk this out.
No, you let go of me.
I'm not going to let you go
let
like this.
go of
No.
me.
So, you changed your mind about walking back to your apartment?
Yeah, I figured it was too far to walk.
It sure is.
Besides, it's cold. I'm tired.
Well, Bernie's here.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, come on. Now, all I meant was that I can drive you wherever you want to go. Back to your place or back to the coop or anywhere your pretty little head decides it wants to go.
Yeah, well, right now my pretty little head feels real stupid.
Oh, come on. What makes you say that?
I can't believe that I trusted Billy Joe.
Well, he's a kindly boy, and he's got that sweet, winning smile.
I really thought that he was taking those pictures for a record producer.
You did?
Yeah, I guess that seems pretty funny to you, huh?
It sure does.
You knew about this all the time, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I had a pretty good idea.
And you didn't try to stop him, did you?
Look, once Billy Joe sets his heart on something, it isn't easy to talk sense to him.
Oh, so you just went along with it, huh? You didn't care what happened to me.
Oh, come on now, Elaine. You know I care a lot about what
Well,
happens
you
to you.
sure have a funny way of showing it, Bernie. Getting him those costumes for those pictures.
A friend asked you to do a favor. Besides, I thought you were agreeable to all this. Well, that's just great. That's what I get for being Mr. Nice Guy.
Well, people just take advantage of you when you try and be nice.
Well, that's true of some people, yeah.
Everybody's just looking out for himself.
Not everyone.
Well, Billy Joe sure is. I could name someone else who is, too.
Yeah, who, me?
Yeah, even you, Bernie.
Here. Put this on. So, you still gonna let Billy Joe be your manager?
Not on your life.
Well, if you like, I could see what I could do for you. I got some connections, and there's no reason for you to stop.
So you can take your connections.
Hey, come on now! Elena! It's 3 miles back to town.
Paige, sometimes I feel so caught up with my family and so hemmed in I can't even move. Maybe it'd just be better if I started all over again and got away from everything and everyone. not you, Paige. But everything that closes in on me and makes me feel trapped.
Moving away from your problems isn't the answer, Dennis.
What else is there?
Well, maybe you're unsatisfied with your work.
No, I really enjoy running
Now,
Western Auto.
You have been talking about reaching more people. You can't do that from the gallery.
Maybe I can't.
That's why Houston is such a great place to live, Dennis. I mean, it's big and it's still growing, and you could reach a lot of people if you had the right job.
But if we stay here, we're still going to be under Alex Wheeler's shadow. Look, I want to get away from him and Mom, and maybe moving away would be just the thing to do it.
No. Families are important, Dennis. If you turn your back on them now, you may regret it later.
That sure seems strange coming from you.
Why?
Well, you're not that close to your family. You never see Justin or Courtney, and they live right here in town.
It's true. I don't know. Courtney's always so busy at that clinic of hers, and just, well, we never did get along.
What about Barrett?
Barry and I are very close. But ever since Dad's suicide, I find it really difficult to go out to the ranch because so many bad memories.
Is that why you didn't go to your father's funeral?
Part of the reason. But you're different, Dennis. You are close to your family.
Not that close.
But you will be again.
Sometimes I wonder.
No, you will be.
You seem pretty sure of that.
Because I'm going to make it my business to see that you are. It's going to be one of my wifely duties to bring us all back together again.
Darling, you startled me. We didn't hear you come in.
I have to take something out of the oven.
When did you put something in the oven?
Oh, did I say take something out of the oven? I meant take something in the oven. It's some rolls for breakfast.
How are you feeling?
Fine, except for feeling a little bit lonely. She said you'd gone out.
Yes. I didn't want to disturb you. You were so involved in that basketball game on television.
Where'd you go?
Didn't Vivian tell you?
Oh, she said you went over to see Rena and Max.
Well, as usual, Vivian has her information mixed up.
Oh, then you didn't go out to the Deckers.
Well, honey, how could I? If I'd gone all the way out there, I wouldn't be back so soon.
Then you weren't visiting Rena?
Yes, but I met her at the top of the World Club.
Oh, I see.
Here you go. It seems Rena wanted a little advice about her marriage.
What, Rena and Max having trouble?
Oh, no. She just wanted to discuss a few things. Being newly married. Girl talk, you understand.
Well, I suppose so. I just hate having you running off, so late at night. Couldn't have waited until tomorrow,
It could have, but you know Rena. She gets so impatient when she has something on her mind.
Did it go well?
What go well?
You talked.
Oh, sure, we straightened things out.
Well, what was Rena doing out at this late hour?
Well, she'd been shopping earlier, getting some clothes more suitable, for ranch life. She was getting ready to go home when she decided she wanted to see me.
It's funny, I don't remember hearing the phone ring.
Oh, it didn't. I called Dennis at the club, and Rena overheard him talking to me.
Oh, well, that explains it.
I'm sorry I worried you. I'll try not to rush out any more without saying something.
Good. How was Dennis?
Not very well, I'm afraid.
I'm sorry about that.
He's unhappy about not being allowed to see Elliot.
Well, I suppose that's understandable.
Now he's asked Stryker to make arrangements for the visit.
I don't think that'll do any harm. Do you?
No. You're probably right.
in the world? Well, come in.
He was at
Nina,
this
what?
trailer, and he was...
Oh, sweetheart. Oh, honey, what is it? What's the matter? Tell me what happened.
Who the hell are you?
The man with the gun.
Just put the gun away, because I'm not here to rob you.
Then what do you want?
I'm looking for Bernie.
How do I know that he wants to see you?
He wants to see me, believe. Actually, I'm looking for Elena Decker. You know her?
Seems like an awful lot of people are trying to avoid you.
Yeah, well, it's,
Well, you don't see them here, do you? So why don't you just leave while you can?
Look, I gotta talk to her. I'm her manager.
That's not the way I hear it.
Yeah, well, look, I don't care what you hear, pal. My name is Hampton. It's Jeb Hampton. You can ask anybody you want in this...
Okay,
place.
you're Jeb Hampton. What's not okay is the number that you just did on my door. Now, you say you're looking for Elena? That's fine, too. I'll pass the word along. And I'll speak to Bernie about sending you a bill for the door.
Hey, boss, I got the equipment back, and it's all in good shape. What caused that?
Just fix it fast. And I never want to see that Jeb Hampton character in the coupe again.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.
Good morning, Iris. I'm glad to see you're an early riser. Because there's something I want.
What is it you want, Mrs. Carrington?
I would like to see Mrs. Wheeler. That's all right with you.
It is all right with me, but she doesn't usually receive at this ungodly hour of the morning.
Oh, I think she'll see me.
Heaven's name, is the coffee doing on the stairs? Mr. Wheeler and I are dying of
Good
thirst.
morning, Iris. I'm glad to see you're an early riser. Because there's something I want to talk to you about.
Publicity photos. How could I have been so dumb?
Exactly the way I feel, Lena. I've been looking all over the place for you.
Oh, you have you?
Yes, I have. I went to your apartment. I talked to your sister. I went to the chicken coop. I've been everywhere. What are you doing out here?
Nothing. I just felt like being with the horses instead of people right now.
You mad about something happened last night?
What do you know about that?
Just that I went by the chicken coop this morning while Bernie was closing up. He said something about Billy Joe taking some publicity photos of you.
Yeah, well, that's what he said they were going to be.
What happened?
I don't want to discuss it.
Come on, Elena, you can talk to me. I'm your manager.
You are my ex-manager, Jeb.
What, are you firing me?
That's right. And I don't want to talk about it.
Now who's going to take over for me, Billy Joe?
No, he's not, but that is none of your business. So just leave him out of it, okay?
Billy Joe pulled a fast one on you last night, huh?
No, that's not what it is. But at least Billy Joe was concerned with my career, and that's a lot more than you were.
Riker, I'm sorry to be interrupting you so early in the morning. Oh, don't give it another thought. We're early risers around here, too. Sit down, Dennis. Thank you. Would you like some coffee? Please. I guess this has to do with your phone call of yesterday.
That's right. I'd like to see my father, Stryker. I'd like to see him today.
Texas, starring Beverly McKenzie.
My hands are tied, Dennis.
Oh. So Alex Wheeler is the one I'm supposed to speak to, is that it? Well, then what's the problem?
He is not the one you have to go to see.
Well, then who is?
It's Iris, Dennis.
Mom?
Yes, as I understand it, she is behind Alex's decision not to drop charges against Elliot.
I should have known it.
Now, wait a minute, Dennis. I have got a suggestion to make.
What?
It's an obvious one, but suppose you went to see her.
Stryker, there would be no point in that.
Why do you say that?
Because I've already seen her.
But when?
Last night.
But not about visiting Elliot in the hospital.
No. She came to me to try and talk me into having nothing more to do with him.
Did you, tell her how you felt?
Oh, I let her know in no uncertain terms, but she still doesn't care.
Suppose you went to see her again.
Wouldn't work, Stryker. She's so wrapped up with her own feelings, she doesn't care about anybody else's.
Son, don't you think you're being a little harsh?
No, I don't, Stryker.
How do you feel about your father? Would you mind telling me that?
I intend to stick by my father. He's seriously disturbed. He needs help.
Well, that was a terrible thing that he went through in Cambodia.
That's something my mother seems to have forgotten. But I haven't.
You want to do everything you can to help him.
He's my father. It doesn't matter what he's done.
Your loyalty is admirable.
Unfortunately, my mother doesn't share your opinion on it.
No. She is still terribly shaken by what happened.
Look, my father wasn't in his right state of mind when he shot Alex.
Well, I'm pretty certain that there's no question about that.
Well, look, doesn't that affect his legal position? I mean, the fact that he was seriously disturbed?
No, that hasn't been established yet. And it won't be until he has completed this battery of psychological
They're giving him tests now?
Well, it's standard procedure, Dennis. It has to be done.
That's exactly what he doesn't need after all he's been through.
Now, look, it's nobody's intention to prolong your father's suffering. That's not what they're doing up at the hospital.
Maybe not, but Mom's intent on making his life as rough as possible.
You don't really believe that, do you?
Yes, I do, Stryker. She's been behaving in a very vindictive way towards him.
Well, I won't argue with you. You've made your mind up, obviously, but I do hope that you don't let any of this cause a breach between you and your mother.
I'm afraid that's already happened.
What do you want this ungodly hour?
I told Mrs. Carrington you don't receive it this ungodly hour.
Thank you, Vivian. Now, if you will just take the coffee up to Mr. Wheeler and tell him I'll be there shortly.
Smell.
Very shortly.
Thank you.
How I loathe hearing you called that name.
Pardon?
Mrs. Carrington.
Actually, it should be a bond between us, since you once had the name yourself.
A bond. I get a sick feeling just at the thought of it, right here. And the fact that you got the name by marrying my son adds insult to injury.
I'm not here to trade insults with you, Iris.
Well, why are you here? To gloat?
No. Not that either, although you might think I have good reason to.
You've succeeded in creating a rift between Dennis and me, haven't you?
No. You did that without any help from me last night.
Never mind last night. I know what you're up to.
Do you? And what is that?
You're doing everything in your power to separate me from my son. And you obviously won't be happy until you have him completely in your clutches.
I have news for you, Iris. He already is in my clutches, and he's very happy to be there.
Yes. Maybe he is, until he sees through you, which shouldn't take too long. And once he realizes how scheming and manipulative you
That's very
are...
amusing coming from you, Iris.
I didn't ask you to sit down.
Oh, you really are something, aren't you?
What is that supposed to
Don't
mean?
you think your darling son ever saw through you?
Just say what's on your mind and leave, will you?
All right, very well, I'll get right to the point then. You and I are made out of the
same cloth. What? Yes, and it's time you realized that.
If I thought for 1 minute that I was anything like you...
Listen, Iris, there is no reason why we shouldn't get along.
Are you suggesting that we become friends?
After a fashion, yes.
Not on your life.
All right, then allies. But before that can happen, there's a misunderstanding that has to be cleared up.
And what is that, pray tell? My belief that you want to come between me and my son?
Exactly.
You have the gall to sit there and deny that's your goal?
All right. Since you believe that is what I want, then let me ask you something. How do you think I plan to separate you and Dennis?
Well, it's obvious. By turning him against Alex.
You really believe that, don't you?
Yes. And you think you can accomplish that by putting those crazy notions in his head about Elliot.
What crazy notions?
That the man is worth saving.
Oh, Iris, you couldn't be more wrong.
What are you saying?
Hasn't it dawned on you? I want Elliot out of the way as much as you do.
Why?
Never mind why. The point is I want exactly what you want.
I suppose that includes getting Dennis to accept Alex.
Yes, it does. The only difference between us is that I realize that can't be accomplished by shoving Alex down Dennis's throat.
You've obviously given this a great deal of thought.
Yes, I have. Oh, you need me now, Iris. In fact, I think it's time we join forces.
Well, what can I get you for breakfast?
Oh, I'm not hungry.
Well, now, you have got to eat. You got to keep your strength up. Think about that baby.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. This baby I'm carrying is the most important thing in the world to me.
Then you can eat something.
Later. Maggie, could you talk to me for a few minutes?
Well, sure, honey. Do you want to tell me now about what happened last night?
I thought it'd be good if I talked about it.
I guess it had something to do with Billy Joe.
Well, if you want to say I told you so, I would not blame you.
Where are you going?
If you won't leave, I will.
You're not going anywhere. You're going to sit down here and you're going to talk to me, all right? Now, you're blaming me for what happened last night.
Partly. After the way you treated me, Jeb, where else was I supposed to go?
You were supposed to go anyplace else but over to that jerk's house, and I did not mistreat you.
Oh, no?
No.
You just waltzed off with that tramp Courtney Marshall.
Now, wait a minute. You just watch how you talk about her, all right? Just watch your language there.
Well, that's exactly what she is, Jeb. And I don't see you denying that you're not involved with her.
Look, will you just leave her out of this?
You know something, Jeb? You are as big a hypocrite as my big brother, Max. He just played Mr. Righteous while he was sleeping with Rena Cook.
Elena, they got married, didn't they?
Eventually, yes.
Well, all right then.
Oh, is it all right? And what about Courtney?
What about Courtney?
Oh, come on, Jeb. You're acting like she's some kind of saint, and you know that she jumped into bed with a man that was twice her age. Dr. Kevin Cook. Remember? He was still married to Rena at the time.
Let me tell you something. Courtney and Max, they have nothing to do with this, all right?
I was just reminding you of a few things, Jeb.
Elena, I am doing everything in the world to keep you out of trouble. And that's because I care about you. You understand that?
Save your energy for Courtney, because I can take care of myself, thank you. And I don't need you or Billy Joe anymore.
You must be a fool to think I would ever join forces with the likes of you.
Iris, we have a great deal in common. Like I said before, we're a lot alike.
I actually think you believe that.
I wouldn't be here if I didn't.
In what way are we alike?
Well, if you want something, you don't let anything stand in your way. You go after it until you get it, right? I'm the same way.
You're referring to how you got Dennis away from your sister.
Don wasn't right for him, Iris.
And you are?
Yes, because he needs someone strong behind him.
Aren't you confusing ruthlessness with strength?
Oh, come now. Let's not quibble over words, shall we? The point is, you've met your match.
Oh, have I?
Yes, you have. And you know the old saying, if you can't lick 'em, join 'em.
I would rather lose everything I have than join up with you.
Including Dennis. Because there's always that possibility.
Is that a threat?
Oh, heavens no, Iris. Just making an observation. I'm very realistic. I thought you were too. The fact is, you could lose Dennis. And you know that as well as I do.
Out.
Pardon?
I want you out of my house this instant.
Very well. That's what you want. On second thought, maybe I should talk to Alex about this matter since I'm already here.
You leave Alex out of this.
I want to. But since you've become so intractable, I don't see I have any alternative.
You will not speak to my husband about this.
As a matter of fact, I think Alex might be more sympathetic about what I'm proposing, since he really is Dennis's father.
What you're proposing?
Yes. Don't you think he'd want Elliot out of the picture, too? That way he can claim Dennis as his own son, and rightfully so.
Oh, I suppose you're getting ready to reveal that bit of information to him.
That Alex is his real father? Oh, no. In that respect, I'm a little smarter than you are, Iris. When it comes to Elliot, Dennis can't be pushed. As a matter of fact, he may become more protective of Elliot if he knew the truth.
And then what?
I think we both could lose him.
Oh, of course. He'd be furious with you for knowing the truth all this time and keeping it from him.
Oh, but he'd be more angry with you. Because you've kept the truth from him all his life.
Yes. But it might be worth letting him know if it meant he'd get rid of you.
You don't mean that.
I love my son. And I would do almost anything to get him out of your clutches.
Well, it just won't happen. And you could very easily lose Dennis if you're not careful.
Get out of my house before I have you thrown out.
Yes, actually, it is time I was leaving. I have a lot of things to do today. Besides, I thought I'd give you a little time to think over my proposition before I go to Alex.
Iris, what are you doing down there? Coffee's getting cold.
I'm coming, darling.
Hey.
Hello, Alex. Hi.
Iris, you didn't tell me that she was here.
Didn't Vivian tell you?
No, not a word.
Ah, just like her.
Well, I just stopped by to see if you two could have dinner with us sometime soon.
I'd like nothing better.
Good. I think it's time that I really got to know my in-laws.
Well, we'd like to know you better, too, wouldn't we?
Yes.
Great. Well, then I'll leave it up to Iris to set a date, all right?
All right.
Hope to see you soon.
All right, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Nice to see you. That was sweet of her to drop by like that, wasn't it?
Nothing sweet about it.
Why do you say that?
Oh, well, I don't trust anyone who shows up at this hour of the morning.
Iris, you're not serious.
Breakfast is ready.
Oh, come on, darling. We don't want our eggs to get cold.
Vivian. Tell me, is there something going on around here that I don't know about?
I'm the wrong person to ask, Mr. Wheeler. I don't know a thing.
I can't think of a nicer way to begin the day than by seeing you, Dennis.
We were discussing the trouble he's having with his mother over Elliot.
Oh, because of the charges that have been brought against him?
Well, that's part of it. But the problem really began when Alex offered me a job.
And Iris wants you to take the job.
Yeah, she won't take no for an answer.
Now, this is the job as Alex's executive assistant you're talking about,
That's
isn't
right.
it?
But I thought that was the post that Ryan Connor holds at present.
It was, but apparently he's leaving and relocating.
Well, that's quite a position for a young man your age.
Yes, I agree with Stryker. But the job doesn't interest you?
Look, don't get me wrong, Vicky. It's got nothing to do with Alex. It's just that I want something different.
Well, different how?
Look, this might sound kind of corny, but I want to be involved with people's lives.
But you are involved with people running West North.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I want to make an effect on their lives. I want a job that makes a difference in the world.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
I think I do, Stryker.
Well, now, Now, look, you are established in the art world, Dennis. You got experience. It's not the kind of thing you want to toss aside without giving it a great deal of thought.
I know that.
Now, look, you're a young man. You got a lot of time to decide what to do. You just mustn't jump headlong into something.
Look, it's not as if I'm making plans to change my whole life tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I don't know what direction I want to go in right now.
But you do want to be with people and affect their lives in some way.
Well, hopefully for the better.
You have some idea for Dennis, Vicky?
Maybe. Dennis, I don't know if this would interest you, but we do have an opening on the staff at KVIK. In some ways, it fits the description of the kind of work you want.
Well, what kind of opening is it?
As an assistant to one of our reporters.
Well, that sounds interesting, although I haven't had any experience along those lines.
Well, you got to start somewhere, son. Now, an assistant's job, it's sort of a training position, isn't it, Vicky?
Yes, and I was just thinking, Dennis is Elliot Carrington's son. And who knows, you may have inherited some of your father's journalistic abilities.
You'd be following along in your father's footsteps now. Would you like that?
Or would it bother you to be in the same field? Elliot is one of the best, and you'd have a lot to live up to.
That's certainly something to think about.
Well, so's the job. I'd think about it a lot.
All right, I will. Listen, I have an appointment in about a half an hour with a framer, so I've got to run, okay?
Nice to see you,
nice
Dennis.
Nice to see you too, Vicky.
Listen, what do you say if I call Dr. De Silva and find out if there isn't some possibility of your seeing Elliot sometime later today?
I would appreciate it if you do that.
Okay, I'll call the gallery as soon as I know something.
Thanks very much, Stryker. Bye, Vicky.
Bye-bye, Dennis.
Bye.
I'll see myself.
Oh, all right. I'll talk to you later.
What are you thinking, Stryker?
What a nice young man he is.
I couldn't agree more. But I'm a little worried about Dennis seeing Elliot.
Why? Because Iris won't like it?
Oh, she won't, but we can deal with that.
Well, then what is it?
Well, I was thinking perhaps I should see Elliot before Dennis does. You remember what he was like the last time we saw him right after they brought him into the hospital?
Yeah, he was pretty weird, wasn't he?
I don't want Dennis to see his father like that.
So, you're gonna leave Billy Joe for good this time? Just on account of what happened last night?
You sound like you're sticking up for him.
Me sticking up for Billy Joe, right? Never. Only, you've had plenty of reasons to leave him before last night.
Last night was the last straw, Maggie. I mean, he broke his promise to me.
What promise?
Well, it doesn't matter. What's important is that I am leaving him now for good.
Did, what happened last night have anything to do with Elena? Never mind, you don't even have to answer that. But if I get a hold of that niece of mine, I'm going to shake a little sense
It
into her
wasn't her fault, Maggie. It was all Billy Joe's doing.
Well, now, suppose you tell me everything about it and let me decide for myself.
All right. They were in that trailer together with all this photography equipment around. And these skimpy costumes, G-strings and the like.
Did Elena have on one of those skimpy costumes?
No, but it was obvious that he was trying to get her to pose in them.
Oh, my Lord, what is happening to that child?
She's being conned by Billy Joe. That is what's happening. But Maggie, don't blame her. It's not her fault.
Oh, I suppose she was forced into all
No, she's being charmed. Just like I was. But never again. I'm going to the apartment right now, and I'm going to pack my clothes.
Well, now, you haven't eaten yet.
I've got to end this, Maggie. I've got to end it once and for all. I just hope I don't run into Billy Joe.
It's good to see you, Vicky.
It's good to see you, Elliot.
Are you here on official business?
No. As a friend.
Well, that's good. I have no idea when I'll be able to return to work.
Now, I don't want you to think about that now. You just concentrate on getting well. That's the important thing. When you're ready to come back to work, your job at KVIK will be waiting for you.
You're a very kind, generous person, Vicky.
No, just a good businesswoman. You're a wonderful reporter, and I don't want to lose you.
Well, I'm afraid I'm not much good to anyone now.
You will be, soon.
I don't know what happened. I remember that I was in a helicopter, and it crashed, but... Oh, that was in Cambodia. That's how I was taken prisoner last year, in a helicopter.
Yes, I know.
I guess I was lucky to have escaped with my life.
You certainly were.
Maybe I wasn't lucky. Maybe it would have been better if I'd been killed.
Elliot, why do you say that?
Because of some vague feeling I have that something terrible has happened. Something I was responsible for. I can't remember a thing.
Well, Elliot, you've sustained a concussion, and it's caused a temporary memory loss.
That's what I've been told. Concussion and some broken ribs. Got off easy, didn't I?
Are you in pain?
Well, only when I move. So I try to keep still.
Are you able to sleep?
Oh, they give me something at night. Vicky, why can't I remember what happened?
It's because of the concussion,
No,
Elliot.
there are other reasons for memory blocks. From what I've read, I know a person can repress something that's happened if it's painful or guilt-inflicting.
Have you made an effort to remember?
Well, yes, of course, but I've asked the doctors about the accident and why I'm here, but well, these answer my questions are questions of their own.
I'm sure they have good reason for that.
It's like they don't want me to find out.
Of course they do.
Will you tell me what happened?
I can't.
Because they told you not to?
Elliot, we have to assume that they know best how to treat your condition. Be patient. Everything will come back to you.
Well, I'll try. Vicky, is Iris angry with me?
Why do you ask that?
Well, because she hasn't been to see me.
The doctors haven't allowed you to have visitors. They want you to rest.
Well, you were able to see me.
I have pull.
Vicky, I was married to Iris for years. She'd have been given permission to see me if she wanted to.
Oh, Elliot, I almost forgot to tell you. Dennis wants to see you. Do you want to see him?
Very much. Yes. I'd like that very much.
skimpy enough.
Come on, Nita. Elena don't mean nothing to me.
I'm not interested, so save your breath.
You're not even going to hear me out?
No, I'm not. I have packed and I'm leaving. This apartment is yours. You can do what you want with it.
I can't stay here without you, honey.
Well, suit yourself. Aren't you going to let me leave?
Don't you want your flowers, huh?
No. No.
Now, wait a minute, honey, huh? We got to talk this thing out. Let's just talk it out, huh?
I am tired of talking. I am tired of listening. And I am tired of your lies.
There wasn't nothing going down last night. I swear it.
You swear it. You swear it, and you expect me to believe it.
Honey, I was just trying to take some publicity photos for Elena to help her career, you know, but Bertie screwed up the whole thing by bringing over the wrong costume.
Oh, so now it's Bertie's fault.
It was. I tried to explain that to you last night, but you wouldn't even give me a chance. You misunderstood the whole situation.
Oh. Did I misunderstand your arm around Elena?
She was all upset because the costumes got all mixed up, and I was just trying to comfort her, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know real well. Well, now, see, you can comfort her as much as you want to.
Nita, nothing like that'll ever happen again. I swear it. I swear it.
Your word doesn't mean anything anymore, Billy Joe.
But when we got married, honey, we promised we'd love each other, and I never broke that promise once, honey.
You have broken every promise you ever made to me. And I cannot stand it anymore.
Honey, I can't live without you. I can't. We have to look out after each other, sweetheart. We do. Come on.
You need somebody to run to every time you get in trouble. And I am not that person.
But the baby, he's going to need a daddy, honey. He's going to need a daddy.
He needs a real daddy. Not somebody like you.
Oh, please. I swear to you. I swear to you, I'll make you happy. I swear. I love you so much, honey. I love you so much.
I know you do. And somewhere deep down inside, underneath all this hurt, I still care what happens to you. But it is not enough. Not after last night.
Well, Jeff, what are you doing here in the middle of the afternoon?
Oh, hi, Maggie. Well, I'm hungry. And, I'm looking for Nita. She's around?
Oh, well, she's lying down. She's kind of tired.
She's not sick or anything, is she?
She's just tired from all that commotion last night.
You know the whole story?
Well, I think what happened was Billy Joe wanted to take some pictures of Elena in some real skimpy costumes, and he said they were publicity photos.
I just can't figure out how Elena could be so stupid.
She's very young and impressionable, Jeb, and she is very hurt and angry about you going off with Courtney Marshall.
But Maggie, she knew exactly how I felt about Courtney. I never kept that a secret from her.
Well, now, knowing about something and accepting it are two entirely different things, Jeb.
I know, but I care about her. I care about her a lot, and you know that. It's like she's my sister or something like that. Now I'm not even going to be able to help her.
I think maybe it's just about time that you started worrying about yourself a little more and less about Elena. I mean, there's only so much one person can do, and you've already done your share. Elena's just going to have to face up to the fact that it's time you looked after yourself.
Yeah, but I don't think she understands that, and I don't think that I could explain it to her, even if she'd let me.
Hello, Alex. Thank you.
you'd probably already left for work.
Why? Would you put off coming by?
Of course not.
But what?
I still can't believe I'm seeing you.
Well, believe it.
You know, that night when you called to say that you were still alive, I can't tell you how I felt. It took the longest time to make it real, but now...
But now? What?
Oh, Alex, it's so wonderful to see you again.
It's good to see you, too.
I guess we're finally where we belong, aren't we?
Yes. I'll always cherish the time that we were together.
So will I, Alex. You know something?
What?
Things are even all right between Rena and me, finally.
Oh, so you made up?
After a fashion.
That must have taken some doing.
It did.
I'm sorry I didn't make the wedding, but I hadn't been publicly removed from my grave yet.
It was a lovely wedding.
Irene and Max happy?
I think so.
And you and Stryker, how are you getting along?
Oh, very well. I was terribly worried about him after he had his last heart attack.
You were afraid you were going to lose him?
Oh, yes. But the heart transplant operation he's had has been a great success, and... Oh, Alex, things do seem to have worked out for all of us.
Well, we've all been put to the test, but we seem to have come through all right.
Let's hope so.
Alex, honey, are you still here?
Yes, darling, I was just leaving. Vic is here to see you.
Hello, Iris.
Hello.
I've just come from visiting Elliot at the hospital. He wants to see you.
Feeling?
Like I returned from the dead. Most of the time I feel so drowsy I can hardly keep my eyes open.
All that medication they're giving you, huh?
Mm. Sit down. It's good to see another human being other than a doctor. Seen enough doctors to last a lifetime.
You don't like them, huh?
Oh, terrible company. Ask them a question and they just grunt.
Maybe you ask them the wrong questions.
Have they told you how long I'll be here?
No, not exactly. Let's hope it won't be too long.
I don't remember anything that happened.
Dad, I don't think you should even try.
When you get amnesia in the movies, it means you've done something wrong. Then you get hit on the head and everything you did comes back.
They're no fun. Hospitals. Are they?
No. No, they're not.
You remember that time you took me to Bay City to the hospital?
For your heart surgery?
Yeah.
You were only 10 then.
But you were terrific to me, Dad.
Was I?
Yeah, I was scared to death because I didn't know what was going on. Saw all those people in white hovering over me. I was terrified. That's when you insisted on spending the night with me.
I was right there in the same room with you.
how you got into a fight with that head nurse.
Okay. She was a battle axe, wasn't she?
You got your way. You know, I don't think I could have come through without your dad.
Oh, you had your mother?
Yeah, but she wasn't there all the time. She was off in San Tropez all those years we were in New York.
She loved you enough to come to Bay City. She stayed with us after your operation. What are you thinking?
I was just remembering all the times you took me to the Central Park Zoo. Almost every Sunday. Take me to see the animals. Tell me where they were from, what their habits were, what they ate. Almost anything anyone would ever want to know.
Probably more than you wanted to know. Maybe it was boring for you, but I wanted you to have a head start on the other kids in school.
No, Dad, you were never boring. You remember how you used to help me with my homework?
Why are you so nostalgic all of a sudden?
I don't know, Dad. I guess I just can't help remembering. All the wonderful times we had together.
What's wrong?
I love you, Dad. No matter what. You never left me then. And I'm not going to leave you now.
I am appalled that you would go see Elliot in the hospital.
Why? He's a colleague of mine. We've worked together, and I'm very fond of him.
Fond of him? Twice he tried to kill Alex, and the second time he blew up half of the Houston Yacht Club, and you tell me you're fond of him? The man is dangerous. He's stark, raving mad.
Iris, he's ill, and he needs help. He's suffered a great deal.
He suffered? What about Alex?
Elliot wasn't in his right
Look,
mind.
I don't hear this. I don't understand you. I mean, you loved Alex at one time, and I gather you still do. How could you take Elliot's side when his only purpose was to see Alex dead?
I'm not taking Elliot's side. It isn't that simple.
Well, it is simple enough to me. I want nothing more to do with Elliot Carrington.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.
Rena. Rena, time to rise and shine.
The role of Max Decker is now being played by Jay Hammer.
Rena. Rena, time to rise and shine.
Honey. Wake me up when the sun comes out, and then we'll have some coffee together.
Yeah, well, the sun is up. You know, maybe if you took these funny little covers off your eyes, you might be able to find it easier to get up in the morning.
Oh. Honey, what time is it?
It's 9 o'clock.
I've done 3.5 hours of work already.
What are you doing home?
Well, I decided I'd take a little coffee break and give my wife a good morning kiss.
Oh, honey. Your cheeks are cold. Must be freezing outside. Oh, come on. You don't really have to go back to the range. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Well, not today, no. I gotta spend some time with Barrett going over expenses.
That's Barrett now?
Well, I don't know. He said we'd be working up the house.
Let me put my robe on first. Thank you.
Delivery for Decker? Where do you want it?
Rena, there's a couple of men here with a mattress.
Just a mattress? What did you do with the rest of the things?
Still out in the truck.
Oh, come in here and put it right there. Yes, that's perfect. Terrific. Oh, honey, this is our new king-size bed. Isn't it wonderful?
Rena.
I knew you'd be excited, darling.
Where do you plan to put this king-size surprise?
In the spare room, right over there.
Well, that's where you said I could keep my stuff, my power tools, my
Honey,
spare
don't
saddle.
worry. We'll find another place for all your junk, okay?
Honey, I don't think that room is big enough.
Oh, sweetheart, it's perfect. You see, it's just wide enough for a king-size bed. There's even room for a dresser and a chest of drawers. Honey, I'm going to fix this place up while we're waiting for our house to be built. Come on, fellas. Yeah, right over here. That's it. You don't have to be very careful around here.
Justin, before I forget, will you add paper towels and butter to the grocery list?
Sure.
Oh, and will you pick up my jacket at the cleaners? I'm going to need it later on today for that big unveiling.
What unveiling?
Don't you remember I told you yesterday about the thousands that the people at River Oaks spent on that commissioned sculpture?
Sounds real exciting. Why don't you stop off at the cleaners on your way to work? It's not really that far out of your way.
Justin, may I take one precious moment of your time to remind you that we agreed to share the work around here and that today is your day off?
I'm sorry, Sam. I've already made plans for my day off.
What plans?
I've got to go out to the ranch.
What for?
Family business.
Oh? Does this family business include Rena?
Morning.
What are you doing here?
I came to visit you.
I told you I would call you if I had news.
But will you?
Yes, I will. Now, will you get out of my chair?
What's putting you in such a lovely mood?
You.
Somehow, I don't think that's true.
I told you I didn't want anyone seeing you here, Chris.
Calm down, Paige. No one saw me. Things didn't go so well with hubby, did they? What happened to that very personal, very confidential matter you were going to discuss with hubby?
You're right. It didn't go very well.
So your little plan backfired.
No, it didn't backfire. It's just going to take a little longer than I thought. That's all.
Texas, starring Beverly McKenzie.
Heard you were back on the ranch.
Yeah, I think.
Thought maybe you were trying to avoid me.
No. I've been thinking.
It's a good thing to do.
Yeah, well, not always. No. Sometimes you realize things that you don't like.
Yeah?
Yeah. And sometimes you realize that you've been wrong, and it makes you feel real dumb.
I know the feeling.
And sometimes you think about the things that people have said to you, and you think maybe they've been right all along.
You've been thinking all those things?
Yeah.
I see. And, what did you finally come up with?
Well, I've decided. Max, Houston is not the place for me. You were right. I don't belong there.
What happened to make you decide that?
Nothing. I just met a lot of people there, and I didn't like them very much.
Well, you know what you don't want. Guess that's a start.
Yeah, well, I know what I do want, too.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Well, I want to go back to school if they'll take me. And I'd like to think about maybe even going to college if my grades are good enough.
Sounds like a fine idea.
And, I'd like to come back here and live on the ranch if you'll take me.
Nothing would make me happier.
Oh, Max. That is a relief for me.
Seem surprised.
And relieved.
How come?
Well, when I left for Houston, you told me that you never wanted me to come back here again.
Yeah, well, I say lots of things when I get mad and upset.
No, Max, you meant this.
At the time, I sure did. Is that why it's taken you so long to come back, see me before this?
Well, yes. I was afraid that you'd have me packing up back to Houston, Max.
Well, people can change, can't they?
And I'm sure going to try real hard to do that. And I am not going to be any trouble for you, Max. I promise you.
You know, I worry more about the trouble you cause yourself, honey, not me.
Yeah, well, I've changed a lot these last few months.
Well, city life does that to some people sometimes. Tell you what.
What?
How about we just wipe the slate clean and start off fresh, huh?
Is that all right with you?
That is fine with me.
Max. Hey, you know, I have not seen Rena since your wedding day. You think I can go to the cabin and visit her?
If you want to.
How is she?
She is stubborn, mule-headed.
Well, wait a minute. You don't sound very happy with her.
Well, right now I'm not.
Well, what's the trouble?
Well, nothing I can't handle.
Well, is she in a bad mood, too?
Sure was when I left her this morning.
Well, then maybe I'll just go visit her tomorrow.
She'll be cooled off by this afternoon. We never stay mad at each other very long.
Well, Max, I don't want to make things worse.
She'll be glad to see you. Tell you what.
What?
How about to celebrate your homecoming, we work up a special kind of supper, huh? How's that
One
sound?
of Rena's specialty?
Well, I'll barbecue some ribs.
You got a date, big brother.
You're back here for good now, aren't you, Elena?
I'll never leave here again, Max.
Sam, what's the matter with you?
Nothing. Nothing. I was just curious about your plans for today.
We didn't promise to tell each other everything. That wasn't part of the living arrangement.
I don't want to know everything. Just that one little thing.
All right, now that Barrett is out of the hospital and feeling better, he wants to take over the management of the ranch. He wants to talk to me about a few things.
Well, I don't see why you have to be involved in all of this.
Sam, I'm a member of the family. Whatever he decides about the ranch will affect me.
Do you think that Barry's strong enough to take on this kind of responsibility?
No, not by himself. But he does know what he's doing. He's a good businessman. Before long, the Marshall Ranch and the Marshall family will be in the money again.
Well, there's a much easier way to accomplish that, you know.
Tell me.
Have a geological survey done. Find out if there's oil or natural gas on that land.
Sam, are you crazy?
Everybody in Houston thinks that there's oil on that land. Lots of it.
Sam, the Marshalls have been cattlemen for generations. They take pride in their land.
If there is oil on that land, it would be a sin to ignore it as a natural resource.
Try telling that to my grandmother. She'll tell you what's sinful.
Well, why don't you mention it to Barry?
Barrett is more dead set against drilling than my grandmother is. I have to get a move on here.
Justin, you haven't answered my question.
What question?
Are you planning to see Rena today at the ranch?
I might drop in on her.
Maybe you need a little help with Dennis.
I don't need any help.
I'm very good at persuading.
I don't want you involved in this, Chris.
Afraid hubby will get a little jealous?
I don't want him connecting you with me.
All I want to know is what's going on, Paige.
Nothing is going on, and I will call you when it is.
I still don't understand why you can't tell me the dirt
I
that you
just
have on
can't.
Carrington.
Trust me.
That's just the point. I don't trust you.
Well, then that's your problem, isn't it, darling?
I can make it yours.
We just can't push Dennis right now.
Why?
Because he's not getting along with his mother at the moment. I think that is the avenue that I will pursue.
Oh, you mean the famous Iris Wheeler, Queen of Society Avenue?
Oh. Don't believe everything you read in the paper, darling.
Meaning?
Meaning that she isn't the grace of society that everyone would think her to be.
Can you be more obscure?
I paid a little visit to Iris yesterday and mentioned that we should join forces. She wants Dennis to accept Alex's offer as much as I do.
Oh, and did she agree?
Hardly. But I think she'll come around.
And what if she goes to her son and tells him about your proposition?
She's too smart for that. She knows Dennis wouldn't leave her.
Oh, you've got it all figured out, haven't you? Poor Iris.
Poor Iris? You mean the iron butterfly?
Such harsh words from such a pretty lady.
Christopher, she's a woman who knows exactly what she wants, goes after it, and usually gets it.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when...
An irresistible force meets an immovable object?
That I usually will.
Talked to Jim Thorpe at our Paris office this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looks like they might have an opening for me.
Still thinking about leaving, huh?
Well, Paris in the springtime sounds very tempting. City of lights and romance.
Romance? Well, I thought you would have had enough of romance for a while.
What about you, Ryan?
Well, I'm still planning on leaving Houston. I just haven't decided when.
Is that because of Alex?
What do you mean?
Well, I thought you might be waiting for Alex to recover.
No. It depends more on Dennis than it does Alex. You see, Dennis hasn't decided yet whether to accept Alex's offer as his executive assistant.
What's the story with Dennis, anyway?
What story? What do you mean?
Well, the way everybody's been tiptoeing around here, you think there's some deep, dark secret I'm not being told about.
What, have people been, tiptoeing around?
Oh, well, haven't they?
Terry, I want you to sit down. I've got something to tell you.
What?
This is going to come as a shock to you. I couldn't believe it myself when I first heard it. Sit down, please.
Okay, believe what?
Sit down. Dennis is not really Elliot's son.
What?
You see, Alex is Dennis's father.
No. I can't believe it.
Well, believe it, because it's true.
Ryan, that's incredible.
Look, I want you to keep this confidential just between you and me, all right?
Well, I won't tell us all.
Too many people know already, and sooner or later the word's going to get out, so,
Well, how does Dennis feel about all this?
Uh-huh. Well, that's the problem, because, Dennis doesn't know.
Alex hasn't told him?
Well, Alex and Dennis haven't been getting along for quite some time, and, well, I guess Alex was hoping that Dennis would come around eventually on his own, but he hasn't.
In the meantime, you just have to sit around and wait for it to all work itself out?
Yep. Guess that's about it.
Ryan?
Hey, Alex, I didn't know you were coming
Hi,
over there.
Terry. Yeah, I wasn't planning on it, but something came up.
Well, what, something I can help you with?
Yeah, Dennis called. He wants to see me at the office here.
Dennis, please sit down.
Thank you. I went to see my father yesterday.
I know.
You know.
Yes, I went to see Elliot yesterday, too.
That's funny. He didn't mention that.
Well, he may not have remembered seeing me.
Well, that's true. Dr. De Silva did say they had him on some kind of sedative.
Dennis, I think it's more than that. I think your father has some very painful memories that he's going to have to deal with. And, well, Dennis, I feel very guilty where Elliot is concerned. After all, I was the one who brought him to Houston, gave him the job here at KVIK.
Vicki, I don't think you should feel guilty at all. Because no matter what anyone else thinks, I'm grateful for your bringing him to Houston.
I know you are.
Despite what everyone else says my father did, I still think he's a wonderful human being. He's been through a lot. And I intend to stick by him no matter what or who gets in his way.
I take it that you're referring to Iris.
Mom, and Alex, and anyone else who feels that my father should be locked up and forgotten.
Dennis, don't be too hard on your mother. After all, she has been through a lot.
You know, I just don't understand how she could completely turn her back on him, that's all.
I went to see Iris yesterday after I saw Elliot.
And what'd she say?
Dennis, please try to understand.
No, Mom is the one who has to understand, Vicki.
Your mother said she wants nothing more to do with Elliot.
She said after the way he's treated her. Vicki, he loved Mom.
No matter how many times she'd try her little tricks, he would always treat her with respect. Always. Always treat her like a lady.
Dennis, he did try to kill Alex.
Well, who can blame him? I mean, 5 years in that prison camp in Cambodia. 5 years!
I know, yes, it must have left a terrible mark on Elliot.
You know, some people think my father's a traitor.
Yes, I know.
Well, I don't believe that.
But Barrett...
All rumors, Vicky, all rumors.
Dennis, Barrett and Elliot were in that camp together.
Barrett couldn't even remember what happened when he got back. So who can say what happened over there? Who?
Well, then you believe that Barrett's mistaken?
I don't believe my father's a traitor.
But you don't have proof.
I'll find the truth.
Dennis, I think it's very noble of you to stand up for your father like this.
Vicky, it isn't noble at all. I believe my father's innocent.
And I truly hope you can do something.
I intend to. And one way or another, I'm going to clear his name.
We're business partners, or had you forgotten?
I hadn't forgotten.
And you know, as your business partner, I think that I have a right to know exactly how you plan to get hubby to finance this film I'm producing for
My
you.
plan hasn't changed, Chris.
But it doesn't seem to be progressing very fast, Paige. Obviously, you need somebody like me to nudge you from time to time.
I work at my own pace, darling. Don't worry. You'll get your money.
Our money.
I told you I have to be careful not to push Dennis too fast.
Why?
He's refused Alex Wheeler's job offer.
He has refused to be Alex's executive assistant at World Oil?
Yes.
Why?
There are many reasons.
One of which is...
One of which is his mother.
She's against it.
She is for it.
Then I don't see the problem.
I told you, Dennis can't be pushed.
And she's the pushy type?
Very.
Oh, it sounds like the two of you should be fast friends.
Ha! Very funny.
Well, I didn't mean it to be funny. It sounds like the two of you have a lot in common.
Well, Iris doesn't think so.
Perhaps I should talk to Iris.
Chris, you stay out of this. I am warning you.
I wonder how she'd feel about her daughter-in-law being a big Hollywood star.
I don't think she'd like the idea very much.
Mm-hmm. And what about her husband?
Well, Alex isn't as old-fashioned as Iris, but quite frankly, I couldn't care what either of them thought. Dennis is the important person.
And would it bother Dennis to see his darling wife staring down at him from the big silver screen?
I can handle Dennis, darling.
You sound very certain of yourself.
Where Dennis is concerned, sweetheart, I am. Don't forget I got him to marry me.
It's true. True. And I still marvel at that. How did you manage that?
That's my little secret, sweetheart. All you have to worry about is whether I remain successful.
Okay.
Now, the other problem is making sure that Dennis doesn't get too close to Elliot Carrington.
And how do you propose to do that?
Oh, I have some plans. Unlike Iris, I have to be very subtle. Very subtle.
Now, Dennis, how exactly do you plan to go about clearing your father's name?
I don't know. I suppose I'll have to talk to my father.
That won't be easy for him.
I know.
He'll have to dredge up a great many unpleasant memories.
Well, he's going to have to understand it's for his own good.
I just want you to move carefully in this.
I will. I'll even talk to Barrett Marshall if I have to. Because whatever happens, I want all of this out in the open.
You're beginning to sound like a reporter, you know that?
Am I?
Mm-hmm, yes, and I mean that as a compliment. I think Elliot has a son that he can be very proud of.
You know, Vicky, I've been meaning to talk to you about that job offer at KVIK.
Yeah?
Well, you were serious about it, weren't you?
Of course I was serious.
Good. Because I'd like to take you up on your offer.
Dennis, have you thought about this? I mean, really thought about it?
Look, I know it seems sudden. I know you just made the job offer yesterday.
Yeah, I don't want you rushing into anything, especially now, when you're so obviously upset about your father.
Look, Vicky, I need a change right now. This may seem sudden, but it's been coming on for a long time.
I understand that. But are you certain that the field of television news is the right change?
It's good enough for my father. I guess it's good enough for me.
Dennis.
Look, I know what you're going to say. The decision has to be mine.
Yes, it does. Although I certainly think you should talk it over with Elliot.
I'll do that, but I don't think this is the right time. What are you thinking?
How wonderful it would have been if Stryker and I had a son like you.
I love my father, Vicky.
I know you do. Elliot's a very lucky man. Of course, you know you're going to have trouble with your mother over this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know that.
Iris isn't going to be very happy with your decision to follow in your father's footsteps.
Look, I don't care what my mother thinks.
Now, Dennis, I know you're going through a bad time with Iris right now, but you don't really mean that.
Look, I realized how much my mother doesn't care when she stormed into the Top of the World Club. It doesn't seem like there's anything she's ever approved of that I've done, and there's no way I can make her happy.
Oh, yes, Iris can be very stubborn at times. She likes to have things her own way.
Well, I'll tell you something. My mother's going to realize how stubborn I can be.
So your mind is made up?
If you'll have me.
Oh, we'll have you all right. And I consider us very lucky to get you.
Fine. When do I start?
That's up to you.
Well, I have a few things to take care of at the gallery. I have to call the owners in New York, make arrangements for a replacement.
Have you told your wife yet about your plans?
Not yet. I'd like to talk to Alex first. And to tell you the truth, Vicky, I don't think that's going to be very pleasant.
Hello?
Hello, Max. It's Maggie. You're pretty tough to track down. I've been trying to reach you all morning.
What's up?
Have you seen Elena yet?
Well, yeah, she was just here a little while ago.
You know, I was real glad to see her. It's about time she come to her senses.
Max, I'm afraid Elena being back at the ranch doesn't have anything to do with good sense.
Oh, well, Maggie, she told me that she got tired of city living. She wants to come back home. She's going to go to school.
No, Max, the reason Elena is back at the ranch is... It's the same reason that Nita has just left her no-good husband, Billy Joe.
What is the reason?
And now, Max, you're not going to like what I'm about to say, but it's real important that you hear it anyway.
Hi, Sam.
Hi.
What are you looking for?
Oh, the budgeting for the new remote equipment.
Isn't there a copy in the files outside?
Oh, yeah, I'll go look for it.
Have you seen Justin?
I don't keep track of Justin's every move.
Sam.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I'm just in a lousy mood. It's Justin's day off.
It's not important. It can wait until tomorrow. Sam, is something wrong?
No?
Now, I know better than that. Do you want to talk about it?
Well, it's nothing.
Well, I've heard some office gossip. Is what they say true?
Probably not. What is it?
You and Justin are sharing your apartment?
Is that against company regulations?
Of course not. If it were, I'd lose half my employees. Sam?
Yeah?
Is this relationship with Justin serious? I mean, have you taken him to San Antonio to meet your mother?
I haven't even mentioned his name to Mom, and I'd appreciate it if you didn't mention it to her either. It's probably just a temporary thing, and you know how she is. She's so old-fashioned, I doubt if she'd even understand. And Nothing's going to come of it anyway, so I don't want to bother her with it.
All right, don't worry. I won't say anything to her. But I think you should. She is your mother, Sam.
Aunt Vicky, does Rena tell you everything?
Now, you know better than that. No. But we are closer. And I love her.
Seems like this marriage to Max has been a good thing all the way around.
I think for the first time in Rena's life, she's really happy.
I hope it lasts.
Elena! Oh, how are you? I'm okay. It's great to see you.
Come on in, honey.
Thank you.
Have you seen Max yet?
Yeah, we talked earlier. As a matter of fact, he invited me for supper, if that's okay with you.
Oh, sure. Listen, come on, sit down. Okay. I'm looking forward to us being real good friends.
Me too. I could use somebody to talk to.
Well, now, tell me, what about all those men you left in Houston? They can't be very happy about you moving back here.
Well, I doubt they even know that I've left.
Oh, sounds to me like you got men problems.
No, not anymore. From now on, I'm going to be concentrating on getting my high school diploma and maybe even going on to college.
Well, what about your singing career?
Well, I'm not interested in my singing career anymore.
Oh, I thought there was nothing more that you wanted to do.
Well, maybe I was just going about it for the wrong reasons.
Which are?
It doesn't matter, Rena.
Jeb Hampton?
Well, that was part of it. I mean, Jeb Hampton only wants Courtney Marshall.
Darling, Jeb Hampton has always wanted Courtney, even when she was engaged to be married to Kevin.
Maybe wonderful for them.
Oh, come on, Elena. Honey, you're much too young to be feeling sorry for yourself. There are a lot of terrific guys out there. Now, I suggest that you forget Jeb. He's firing someone else. You'd be a lot happier.
Oh, I don't think so, Rena.
Hello?
Hello, Justin.
Hi, Elena.
Hi, Justin.
I was in the neighborhood. I just thought I'd stop by to see how you're doing.
I'm doing just fine.
So, Rena, how do you like roughing it? Oh, Rena, you don't have to pretend with me, now, do you?
I'm not pretending, Justin.
We're old and dear friends now, aren't we?
I really do like the cabin. I'm going to like it a lot more when I get to fix it up.
Looks to me like it's going to take a lot of fixing up.
Well, it's only temporary because Max and I will be building our own house.
Really? Where?
On the land that Max bought from Kate.
You mean Kate sold Max some land?
Then why are you so surprised? I mean, the Deckers have been living on this land almost as long as the Marshalls. And just because the Marshalls own the land and the Deckers work for them, that does not mean that the Deckers aren't entitled to branch out on their own, you know.
I don't mind somebody trying to get ahead. Especially if somebody is pushing them to do so.
I'm not pushing anybody, Justin. Max and I both want this move.
Rena, is Max going to build this house with his own two hands?
Stop it, Justin! We've hired an architect to draw up the plans, and a contractor is doing the work.
I can just imagine what this place is going to look like.
Well, darling, you don't have to imagine for very long. I'll just show you the plans here.
These are all your ideas, of course?
Yes. Now, there's the master bedroom, and there the guest rooms, the swimming pool, the patio. The kitchen is... There's the kitchen. Oh.
What the hell are you doing in my home, Justin?
Hi, honey. Justin was just here to see Kate, and he thought he'd stop by to tell us a hello.
Yeah, you mean to tell you hello.
If you'll excuse me, I think I'll be getting back to the ranch.
I think I better be going, too.
Oh, no, you don't.
see you, Dennis.
I'm sorry to be coming by the office like this.
That's no problem. Come on, sit down.
I hope you understand why it's easier for me to meet you here.
Yes, I think I do.
Mom and me getting along the way we have.
Oh, no. Don't worry, Dennis. You don't have to make excuses, although I must say I don't quite understand why you and Mother aren't getting along.
Well, to put it simply, it's about Elliot. And right now, I think I've got some more news that's going to upset her even more.
And what is that?
I've just finished meeting with Vicki Bellman. And I've decided to accept the job offer to work at KVIK.
To work at the television station?
That's right. Now, I won't be able to start off as a reporter. That's something I'm going to have to work my way up to. But I've decided to make that investment.
I wasn't aware that Vicki made you an offer.
I talked to Stryker and Vicki yesterday.
In other words, this is fairly recent.
Yeah.
Well, Dennis, I won't say that I'm not disappointed, but I certainly will respect any decision that you've made.
Well, thank you. I wish Mom would have extended such a courtesy.
Well, I think that she will accept this once she knows it's what you really want.
Oh, I don't know about that. Mom wasn't very accepting last night.
Oh, yeah, she told me about the telephone conversation.
What phone conversation?
When she called you at the Top of the World Bar.
Mom didn't call me.
Well,
what she did was fly into Page's office.
Well, now, was this before or after she spoke with Rena?
She didn't speak with Rena.
Wait a minute, I don't quite understand. She said that Rena was standing with you at the bar.
No, first of all, I wasn't at the bar. And second of all, Rena didn't even show up at the club that night.
No, that's not right.
Yes, it is right. You're going to have to accept that.
But you must be mistaken.
No, I'm not mistaken, Alex.
But why would Iris lie to me?
Because she knew you wouldn't approve of her coming over here and putting the screws to me, that's why.
No, of course not, I wouldn't approve, but I still can't believe that.
Well, you better believe it, and you better accept it, because that's the way Mom is.
I've never seen this side of Iris. I'm shocked.
Well, I'm not shocked. I'm mad. I've got a good mind to go over there right now and tell her where to get off.
No, Dennis.
Well, then you better do something, Alex, because if you don't, she's going to start all over again.
You leave Iris to me.
Now, how long did it take you to practice your little speech about being such a changed woman?
Max, I meant every word of that.
You sure had me believing it. Until Aunt Maggie called. Seems that Nita Wright had a real interesting story to tell. About publicity photos.
Max, honey, what's the matter? Why are you so upset? Huh?
Well, it seems my little sister here is turning into a tramp.
Now, Max, listen to me. Nita has got the whole thing wrong.
No, you got it wrong if you think you can come on back here to the ranch pretending like nothing's happened.
Well, nothing did happen.
Well, Nita says that Billy Joe was taking dirty pictures of you.
No. That is not true, Max. I mean, maybe that's what he wanted.
Oh, we're gonna be damn lucky if this ain't all over town by now, how my little sister's behaving like trash.
Max, you listen to me. Now, I had no idea of what was going on.
Oh, you knew what Billy Joe was like the minute you met him.
Max, will you please let her tell her side of the story, huh?
No, thank you. I've heard enough. Elena, she's got more stories than a public library, and none of them are true.
Yeah, well, maybe if you would stop hollering for just 1 minute, I could tell you the truth.
You don't know nothing about the truth no more. You don't even care about right from wrong.
Max, the only thing that I did wrong was to get involved with Billy Joe. But I never let him do anything.
Nita says there was stripper costumes all over the trailer.
Well, Nita doesn't have any idea what was going on there that night.
Are you saying that Nita told Maggie all lies?
And are you saying that you believe Nita's word over your own sister's?
Honey, calm down, huh? So you can listen to her.
No, Rena. What? Just doesn't matter anymore. He doesn't care. And he never cared. I knew that I was making a mistake by coming back to this place. But I won't ever make that mistake again.
Max, you were just too hard on her.
wasn't fair jumping on her like that. You didn't even give her a chance to tell her side of the story.
Now, don't you tell me how to start raising my little sister. I've been too easy on her all these years. Maybe that's why she's running wild now. But she's out of my life, and I don't care if I never see her again.
You don't mean that, Max.
The hell I don't. What's all this?
It's just the architect's drawings for the new house.
Oh, now. Rena, I can't afford this.
We can't afford it. We can take out a mortgage from the bank. Daddy will help us with it.
I don't want any help from your daddy. I'm the head of the household here. I provide.
Max, you promised me that you would build us a house on our land.
Yeah, but not like that.
First you blew up because you wouldn't let me redecorate this crummy little cabin, and now you're angry because you don't like the house plans.
Well, I'm not going into debt so you can live like the Queen of England here. This cabin is plenty fine enough.
You're never here. I'm here every day and every night by myself. You're somewhere off in the North Range. I don't know
now,
where
Rena,
you go or
listen
what
to me.
do.
Listen to me. I'm sorry, but you're just gonna have to make do with what we got. Now, even if I could afford it, I wouldn't live in no mansion.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.
Morning, Mr. Fred.
Morning yourself. What time is it?
Oh, who wants to think about time? Come here. Come here. Oh, Jamie, come on. You have plenty of time.
Oh, no.
What's the matter? Did your watch stop?
I wish it had, but I've got to go, honey.
No. Come on, Jamie. Couldn't you be late? Just this once. Just one morning.
Honey, I've got all this work I've got to do with the
Just
office.
a teeny bit late. Huh?
Well, maybe just a teeny bit. Oh.
Good morning, Frankie.
Morning, Miss Sandy. How your hands today?
Oh, better, thanks to the gloves. Appreciate it.
Don't mention it. Just remember, they're on loan till payday.
Understood, huh?
Hey, you want some coffee?
No, I had some already, thanks.
Come on, you can't get enough in this weather. Here you go.
Oh, great, okay.
You married?
No.
Ever been?
No, not yet.
Too bad. Me. Second time around. Sure makes those cold nights easy to get through, though, if you know what I mean.
Well, I don't know about being married, but I know what you mean about the cold.
I wonder what's holding things up.
Has there been some trouble?
Maybe Steele's got something special for us to do today. Oh, gotta get moving fast. It's too cold to just stand around here.
Oh, yeah, I wonder what the temperature is.
You don't want to know. Tell you, though, they brought in those icebreakers so the ships can get through.
Man, that water looks deadly.
It's exactly the right word. Man wouldn't last 2 minutes if he fell into that. One slip of the foot, it's all over.
I'll watch my step.
Yeah, you do that.
Hey, Galalo,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to send your crew home for the rest of the day.
Why?
Equipment froze. Everybody's getting paid, just no work.
Right. I'll spread the word.
Hey, so we get to go home?
Yeah. Get paid for doing it. Not a bad deal for us, huh?
Yeah.
But, old man Corey, he ain't gonna be happy about it.
Morning, beautiful.
Good morning to you.
Joey Perini reporting for early morning inventory duty as requested.
I forgot about that.
Oh, hey, if you don't want to do it, I'll go home and get a couple more hours of sleep.
You seem to have a lot of energy. I don't think you need any more sleep.
Sleep I don't get from, I don't get energy from sleeping. I just get more charming.
Really?
Hey, Blaine, if you're not in the mood, we don't have to do this today.
No. It's okay.
Blaine, what happened?
And now, the continuing story of Another World.
So how much was it?
Let him tell you, Mitch. Believe me, the offer Jordan Scott made was very generous. If, that is, you are interested in selling out your share of the supper club.
Right, if it's not going to have a bad effect on you. I mean, you plan on staying here and working it, right?
That was the plan.
It was?
After what happened to Tracy, well, my first thought was to split. Too many memories here.
She meant a lot to you, didn't she?
Maybe more than she should have. Tracy was the most important thing in my life, see? And in more ways than even I knew. Until she was gone. Hey, listen, Mitch, forget what I just said,
All right,
okay?
it's all right. If you want to talk about her, talk about her.
I don't. Not now, anyway.
So, you tell me I know this place.
You really don't remember, do you?
Not a thing.
That must be strange to go through.
It's not particularly pleasant.
I don't think I'd mind it much right now.
No. Don't fool yourself for a minute.
What's it like?
Confusion. Lots of confusion. I mean, take this place. It means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. So, I just think that's one reason why I want to sell out. I mean,
Then you are considering selling?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's time to make a fresh start.
Are you sure that's what you want to do?
No, I'm not sure, but I think it is. Yeah, I think it's time to make a fresh start. For one thing, if I stay here, I'm going to feel like I should know things and feel like I should know this or I should know that. If I start some other place, at least I won't have that problem.
I see what you mean. So, should I set up a meeting with Jordan?
Might work out.
I'll make it for later today, if that's okay with you.
Today's fine. As soon as possible. Sooner the better. Won't give him a chance to back out.
No, don't worry. When Jordan Scott makes up his mind, he makes up his mind. He's not the type to back out.
What type is it?
No, he's a smooth operator, that's for sure.
How smooth?
Well, take this place, for example. If you two decide to make a deal and he takes the place over, he'll turn it into a real moneymaker, that's for sure.
In that case, don't you want to stay?
Well, that's a possibility, I guess, but... Well, what about you? Have you made any plans yet?
Not any other plans other besides trying to get my bearings.
You know, Mitch, if you and Jordan work out this deal, you're going to have a nice sum of money coming from the supper club. You might want to think about reinvesting it.
Any ideas?
I've heard they're looking for money partners over at the Sporting Life.
What's Sporting Life?
Oh, I keep forgetting. You don't remember, of course. But being in good health is the new craze. And it's also big business these days.
So?
So, the Sporting Life is a huge new complex, sporting complex. Gyms, pools, the indoor tennis and racquetball courts, a running track. It's a very impressive operation. It's bound to make money.
Could be interesting. I will go over and I will check it out. I don't have many other options left open to me right now.
Why don't you come into my office for a few minutes, Jim?
There's something you need to discuss?
Nothing in particular.
Well, then I better get to my office.
Why so businesslike all of a sudden?
Cecile, this is the complex. Now, we shouldn't be... Well,
What's the matter?
nothing. It's just that this sort of thing shouldn't be going on at the complex.
Who's it going to hurt?
Well, it could cause problems.
I think it's kind of fun.
It's the kind of thing people love to gossip about.
Oh, let them.
I don't like it.
What? Are you afraid that people are going to think that I'm dating you just because you're the boss's son?
Well, I'm sure there are people who think that already, but that has nothing to do with it. What it has to do is a matter of...
Principle.
Yes, I guess. I mean, if people come to work, that's what they should do, work, you know?
Well, there's nobody here now watching us, and the door is closed. So, come on.
Look, Cecile, even if no one is watching us, there are other